With me now is senior policy reporter for Politico, Darren Samuelsohn. He joins me from the Politico newsroom in Arlington, Virginia. Darren, you were just listening to Donald Trump just now. The latest CBS News New York Times poll has Clinton leading Trump 51 to 43% over who would best handle immigration. She also leads him on handling terrorism. Now, those polls were conducted before the bombings last weekend. Do you think that these events will play into Donald Trump's favor?
No, I don't really think they will. Obviously, we have several more weeks before the election is done. People have largely made up their mind. They are in their corners at this point. What they're talking about is they go back and forth and make the arguments that they're making about terrorism. I think it's to liven up their bases, to ensure that the bases come out to support them. There are some people still in the middle who haven't made up their mind yet. Hard to say that terrorism is the reason. Might be the economy. It could be any number of parochial issues that matter to these people who are still undecided. I think on the terrorism issue, they both are making compelling arguments to their bases. It's very close. I think Clinton, as you said, does have a very small edge. She obviously has a much wider repertoire of background, a history as a former Secretary of State, as someone who's been around foreign policy for a long time. A lot of establishment Republicans are in her corner, people who served in the former Bush administration. So, at this point in time, I think she still does have an edge. Obviously, watching the big debate on Monday night will be key, and see who takes the who comes out ahead on that one.
All right, Darren, you published an exclusive last night about President George H.W. Bush reportedly voting for Hillary Clinton in November. Give us the details behind that report. How did it come to light?
Sure. Well, Kathleen Kennedy Townsend, a member of the Kennedy clan, Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s daughter, was visiting President George H.W. Bush in Kennebunkport, Maine yesterday as part of a visit through the 1,000 Points of Light Foundation, where she's a board member. President Bush is the founder of that organization. At some point, they had a conversation about where President Bush was coming down on the election, and he told her that he was supporting Hillary Clinton. She snapped a picture standing next to the president and then posted it on her personal Facebook page just for her friends to see. But as we know, Facebook can be seen far and wide, much wider audience than maybe she intended. We got to look at that picture, then we confirmed that it was a legitimate, real picture, not a prank. Talked to Kathleen Kennedy Townsend last night, and she told me it was very legitimate. We posted a story saying that a Kennedy member told, a Bush member told a Kennedy member that he plans to vote for a Clinton, and lo and behold, three political dynasties kind of all come together in one story, a sort of trifecta, hat trick, if you want to call it that. Clearly a big moment in politics. If you think about it, how often does a former president, support someone from the other party? It doesn't happen in modern times. This is a very big thing, that you have a Republican signaling that they're going to vote for a Democrat, and not just any Democrat, but the wife of the person who beat him in his own re-election campaign in 1992. It's a pretty amazing story.
It is astounding, and kudos for publishing that exclusive yesterday. But I got to ask you, is this enough to push the needle in Hillary Clinton's favor in just this one moment in time? Or are people, to play devil's advocate, going to say, look, what people have been saying for many, many years now, these are establishment politicians, and the fact that an old school establishment politician is going to vote for another establishment politician speaks to a lot of the anger and a lot of the issues that people had leading up to this election?
Yeah, I think it speaks to different audiences in different ways. I don't think it's going to change any Donald Trump supporter's mind one way or another. No doubt about it. The establishment mantle that hangs over a George H.W. Bush is there for a reason. I mean, he hasn't been president for 24 years, I believe it is. So a lot of people who are, younger are probably not even remembering the George H.W. Bush administration. But I think this does matter because it gives cover to Republicans, to some of the Republicans who haven't made up their mind, the suburban Republicans, the moderate Republicans, the people who are maybe having a hard time believing that they could actually vote for a Democrat. If they hear that a former president of the United States, again, this doesn't happen very often, it's actually never happened, that a president has crossed the line, it certainly, raises their eyebrows a little bit and makes them wonder. And I guess more than anything, maybe historically, it's just an important moment in time to think about someone crossing the lines who once served in the White House.
Darren, Hillary Clinton has been leading an aggressive push for millennial voters. She spoke at Temple University yesterday, and she asked young voters for a fair hearing before casting their ballots. Is this demographic going to be the make or break for Secretary Clinton?
It is a very important demographic. These are people that were part of the big Obama coalitions in 2008, most importantly, but also in 2012 to a lesser extent. She's trying to rebuild that Obama coalition, which includes millennial younger people. Obviously not the millennials that Barack Obama was elected by. Those people were still in middle school or high school or even younger at that point in time. But it's the next wave who don't necessarily even remember that Bill Clinton was a president of the United States. And these were people who were, enamored with Bernie Sanders and the message that he brought about the economy. I think that it's a big challenge for her to entice them. She's using Bernie Sanders on the campaign stuff. She's going to be using Barack Obama, probably Michelle Obama, to connect with younger voters. I think that they're less likely to go Donald Trump's way. There's going to be some around the margins, but it's very important that she gets these numbers up, especially in the swing states. No doubt about it.
All right, Darren Samuelsohn with Politico. Darren, thanks so much, and thanks for that great piece.
Thanks for having me.